So you're looking for a dog trainer here in the Clifton Park area? Well, you've come to the right place. We're going to walk through everything you need to find a great match and build an amazing relationship with your dog.
And really, that's the goal, isn't it? To have a calm, happy dog that you can just enjoy life with, whether you're relaxing at home or out and about in our community.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We'll start with why training right here in Clifton Park is such a good idea. Then, we'll get into how to find the right trainer for you, cover the practical stuff like costs and formats, and finally, show you some great local spots to practice.
All right, let's start with our first topic. Why is it so helpful to train your dog right here where you live? Well, our town is basically the perfect classroom.
You know, having a well-trained dog isn't about fancy tricks. It's about real life. It's about being able to handle these everyday situations, staying calm on a busy street like 146, being polite around other people and dogs at the park, and just generally being a great canine neighbor.
Okay, so we know why it's so useful to train here. Now, how do you actually find the right person for the job? Let's talk about the methods and qualifications that really make a difference. This is really the cornerstone of good modern dog training. Positive reinforcement is all about teaching your dog what you want them to do, and then rewarding them for it. It's not about yelling no, it's about clear communication and building a relationship based on trust.
Now, you might see a bunch of letters like these after a trainer's name, and it can look kind of confusing. Just think of them as proof that the trainer takes their education seriously. For instance, CPDT means they're a certified professional dog trainer. Others, like IAABC or CBCC, often point to a specialist who handles more complex behavior stuff. You don't have to memorize them all, but seeing certifications like these is a very, very good sign.
So, what's the takeaway here? It's pretty simple, actually. You want to find a trainer who talks about building trust and using rewards. If you hear words like intimidation or see tools designed to cause pain, that's a huge red flag. Good, effective training just doesn't need any of that.
All right, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. The different types of training, what you can expect to pay, and some really good questions you should be asking any trainer you're considering.
You've got a few different ways to go here. In-home private lessons, they're fantastic for working on things that happen in your house, like your dog barking at the doorbell or jumping on guests. Group classes, on the other hand, are an amazing way to practice focusing around other dogs and people, which, as you know, is essential for walks around town. Okay, let's talk numbers. This table gives you a ballpark idea of what training costs in our area. And yeah, there's a big range there, from a series of group classes to a more intensive board and train program. This should just help you figure out what might fit your budget and your dog's specific needs.
Think of this as your interview cheat sheet. A truly professional trainer will be happy to answer every single one of these. I pay close attention to how they talk about customizing a plan for your specific dog and how they measure progress. That tells you a lot.
All right, now for the really fun part. Once you've got some training under your belt, it's time to take those new skills out into the real world, right here in our community.
First things first, a quick but really important reminder about our local leash law. Keeping this in mind, just make sure that when you're out practicing, you're being safe, legal, and respectful to everyone else who's out enjoying our public spaces.
So, when you and your trainer decide it's time to work on off-leash skills like coming when called, a safe, fenced-in spot is the only way to start. The Clifton Park Dog Park over on Grooms Road is perfect for this. It lets you practice in a controlled space.
Looking for a place to work on focus with some real-world distractions? The leash trails at Kins Road Park are perfect. This is where you can teach your dog to pay attention to you even when there are joggers, bikes, or squirrels around. You know, it's a great idea to practice in different spots. Taking your dog to a place like Vischer Ferry with all its new sights and smells helps them understand that sit means sit everywhere, not just in your living room or at one park. And that's really the whole point of this, isn't it? The work you put into training opens up so many more opportunities for you and your dog to enjoy life here in Clifton Park, together.
And just one last thought, especially if you're bringing a new dog into your home, try to remember the 3-3-3 rule. Give them about 3 days to decompress, 3 weeks to learn your routine, and 3 months to really feel like they're at home. Patience goes a long way. Good luck with your training. Having a well-behaved dog makes enjoying everything our town has to offer, from a simple walk with neighbors to just relaxing at home, that much more rewarding.